to declare on item 9 and have received no other declarations, so we'll move on to public participation. Can I please welcome Andrew Hamlin, who will speak to us regarding whether a bylaw can be passed to regulate cats. Good morning.
Kia ora, councillors. Bylaws with an educational approach. Recently I asked the council's policy team about considering cat bylaws. The response was that at this stage the council is waiting for leadership from central government to create the right legislation, so cat management for local government will be effective. And with that in mind, I would like to quote the late Nelson Mandela. Education is one of the most powerful weapons that can change the world. Councillors, there are many reasons to consider looking at positive ways to address the issues caused by cat neglect. We can sit and wait for central government to run its paths in due course, or we can look at preparation and prepping a foundation to build the structure that is needed ahead. There are 7 councils around New Zealand that have already introduced cat bylaws. They understand that with current legislation, it's not practical to enforce with penalties. They also understand the words of Nelson Mandela and how powerful education is when shared. Some of the images, sorry I didn't use this.
You're right.
Oh, you do that, okay. Some of the images on one of the animal welfare groups have provided show a snippet of what 10 of the local groups and the SPCA are having to deal with. Since late November 2021 to late January 2024, this one group alone has taken in 761 cats and kittens, have had to euthanise 33 stray and feral cats because of sickness, and have had to euthanise 79 dangerous feral cats and kittens. A response from another cat welfare reads as follows, quote, "We have a hoarder house with 43 cats and kittens this year, another last year with more. We are a very small rescue who is over 20 of what my comfortable limit is and have been for months. Average weekly bill was over $1,000, add food, flea, worm, litter. Forget the overheads as we pay for them personally, as it's from our home. As costs rocket and donations dry up, what if we have to close? What happens if 250 cats come through our doors each? What happens to the 250 cats that come through our doors each year? If the council has the ability to make some real bylaws, please do it," end quote. And if this is correct from what has been submitted in the cat management proposal to the select committee, 2 of the issues created through animal neglect are responsibilities that City Council are obligated to address. But this is not about pointing fingers, it's about considering our options. If the council takes a closer look at the service that animal welfare groups provide, then you will see that the groups are a huge asset to our city, and supporting them with a positive and progressive stance, the council will be investing in a reciprocal force. Not only will the animal welfare groups be able to work more effectively, the respect will be seen from afar. Regional council, sheep farmers and conservation kaitiaki will welcome the day that there are less and less cats that breed in the wild, as seen in ECAN's responding letter. Regional council would be very enthusiastic to mobilise a strategy that helps manage the source of the problem. Addressing this one issue alone with educational cat bylaws is the most effective way to help protection that flares into many different areas of our community. Our neighbours in Selwyn understand the educational cat bylaw approach is an effective stepping stone, and our neighbours in Waimakarere are also commencing stage 1. Could we join with our neighbours fulfil this gap in the network by looking at effective options? Wellington Council's survey shows positive results towards cat bylaws even without having the legislative framework that is needed. They have been able to build a very important foundation. And the stats that have been shared from Companion Animals New Zealand, the overall severity, show the overall severity of the situation. Please take note of what David Lloyd has shared in one of his letters I received, as the stats he has provided shows how rapidly cat populations can expand, and note the reference for the stats for Hastings that the percentage of the 6 cats in Christchurch are far lower. We don't need to kick this can down the road. it should not be looked at as an obligation or a job to regulate. It is about a partnership and how council can work with education to create the snowball effect that is needed. Thank you, councillors. If there is any time, happy to ask any questions.
Right, we've got 14 seconds for Councillor Harrison Hunt to ask a question.
Just for staff, can we receive a memo on what they're doing at the moment on this? Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
We
Thanks. Could the advice please include how we would go about starting the process if we chose to do that? Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. No, we've run out of time. I'm sorry. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Righto. So now we have Sean and Sarah, who will speak on behalf of Centre of Contemporary Art Coker Gallery, to thank the council for its support and to provide us with an update, including their partnership with the Canterbury Museum. Thank you. Floor is yours.
Put this on.
Tēnā koutou. My name is Sarah Roberts,
And I'm Sean Duxfield.
and we're the co-chairs of the Canterbury Society of Arts Charitable Trust, and who own and operate the Coker Gallery in Gloucester Street. So the purpose of us appearing here today is to update you on what we've been up to since we last met with a number of councillors in June 2022, when the board was faced with a decision to close the gallery. We're extremely grateful for the time and support that was provided to us by the councillors during that period. Thank you for providing us with financial guidance in the form of Diane Brandish, a council employee who has since joined our board as treasurer. Thank you for the capital fund support towards the replacement of our air conditioning unit. This support meant we could secure a new main tenant, the Canterbury Museum, and safely house our city's taonga while they redevelop their building. This is becoming a great partnership as we share more programming, visitors, and free opportunities for learning. Sharing audience and increasing engagement has also reaffirmed the significance of Coker within the cultural landscape of our region. Since our last meeting, a lot has been happening to secure Coker's future as a cultural and creative hub and catalyst for artistic expression.
We have a powerhouse team of people across our current board trustees, the Coker team, and the programming group. Our current board is made up of professionals from a variety of backgrounds with three things in common: wanting to support the arts community, see the legacy of the CSA, the Canterbury Society of Arts, live on, and the future of Coker as a contemporary art gallery succeed. We also want to thank and acknowledge Anna Ryan, our previous board chair, who stepped down early last year. It was in a great part down to her stewardship that we are in the position we are today.
All of our recent achievements and future endeavours would not be possible without our fantastic staff members and volunteers. Sarah Aspinwall, our operations manager, who has helped manage our community and partnership consultations, as well as our new exhibition model. Jade Cavalcante, our exhibitions delivery manager, who cares for our artists and delivers our exhibition program seamlessly and with style. And Paula Granger, our relationships and partnerships manager, who has just started this week. Paula will help us strengthen our partnerships across the region with supporters, corporate suppliers, and other arts, culture, and creative organisations.
Coker is now programmed by a voluntary group of Waitaha-based arts practitioners who select an exhibition program from our annual open call for proposals. Exhibitions are selected for our downstairs all-papa gallery and off-site projects. We are so lucky to be working with this amazing group of art practitioners who bring incredible and varied expertise and insights and sector-wide connections to our exhibition programs. Thanks to this group, Coker has teamed up with collections experts at Tūranga and created a reading room to accompany our exhibitions. We are also developing formal partnerships with local tertiary institutes to exhibit the work of our city's emerging artists. This is a new and unique method of operating a gallery, and everyone involved is showing a generosity of spirit in working it all out and creating good frameworks for the future.
Over the past 2 years, the board has worked hard to identify the key issues that needed to be addressed to ensure our ongoing success and financial sustainability. We undertook a consultation with our arts and stakeholder communities in Otutahi and further afield to see what they thought about how COCA serves the sector, audiences and our charitable purposes. This feedback was invaluable and we were able to harness it in many ways. Firstly, we created a new strategy and a strategic framework that helped us solidify our identity and our purpose. Our mission is to work with others to develop, facilitate and present initiatives that create connections between and build communities of arts practitioners and those who draw value from their work. This will support our purpose of better connected arts practitioners at the heart of better connected communities, and both will underpin all our decision making within the organisation.
This new strategic focus was what led to creating a program group, operating model and implementing a call for proposals exhibition approach. We are committed to presenting and supporting a diverse range of art practices and discourses both within and without the gallery. We are working to encourage and nurture Te Waipounamu and in particular Waitaha-based artists, and also to contribute and connect to a wider arts ecology across the motu. We understand that Te Waipounamu does not yet receive an equitable amount of funding for the arts from central government, and so we are committed to advocating for the incredible talent in our local arts, culture and creative sector and support artists from the region. As mentioned, through our program group model, we have engaged in a number of partnerships with organisations within Otutahi, including Tūranga, Elam, University of Canterbury and Ara Te Pukenga. These partnerships are strengthening our connectedness within the arts ecology of the city and providing new and different ways for community engagement. We would love to see any and all of you at our exhibitions and opening events and extend a warm, open invitation to you all.
The feedback from the consultation process also resulted in the creation of a new fundraising strategy. Despite significant challenges through the earthquakes and COVID, COCA is on track to become a financially sustainable organisation that can continue to operate into the future. Our strategy focuses on widening our revenue streams to ensure we are not dependent on just one type of funding. We have recently been successful in securing Creative New Zealand funding for this current year, which will significantly enhance our capacity to deliver engaging exhibitions, allowing us to contribute to the Toi Otutahi strategy for the arts in Otutahi Christchurch. We again thank Council for your ongoing support of arts in the city. COCA is committed to the Council's vision for the arts, culture and creativity. We're excited to help create the cultural powerhouse city set out in the long-term plan, and will continue to develop opportunities for artists so Otutahi Christchurch is known as New Zealand's best place to live and create.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak today.
Okay, thank you very much. No,
Do you have any questions for us?
Thank you, that's very good.
Thank you.
Okie dokie. Now I'll welcome Mark, Chair of the Historic Places Canterbury, and Nikki, a heritage building owner, who are here to speak about a policy change to help highlight heritage buildings as a street feature. Good morning, welcome.
Councillors, thank you very much for granting this public forum presentation. I'll be briefed. It's a policy and strategy because Nikki would like to make a personal statement. What we're seeking is that the Council requests staff to work on a change in Council policy and strategy on planting in front of heritage buildings that have been scheduled with the district plan. What we're asking for in design, plans and plantings, the Christchurch City Council seek to ensure scheduled heritage buildings are on full display while space in front of modern buildings are allocated to greenery. This policy is to be applied appropriately. I will recognise situations where it is appropriate for plantings where they're part of a heritage building's history or they emphasise its heritage character. And it really we're asking for is for site-specific design solutions. This policy could be extended, and we suggest it should be, for special character buildings and outstanding modern buildings. and they should be given the same treatment. We're not asking for a change in policy strategy that is a blanket ban, but we're really asking for site-specific solutions to be sought for each individual situation. We paint the point that most heritage building owners are proud of their buildings, and Dame Anna Crichton has commented, which won't be a surprise to you, as a Heritage Trust Chair, I am very proud of the restoration work we have done. I want Shands and Trinity to be seen and photographed by everybody without trees and plantings getting in the way. There are few heritage buildings in the CBD, so the proposed policy should have negligible effect on the greening of the city. These buildings put the heritage buildings on full display, so it's showing the owners that the council recognises the commitment owners have made. We also point out that at Eden City Council in its George Street development has followed this principle. I note that the plantings in Dunedin and George Street are 70% native. Now I'd like to hand over to Nikki Arts.
I'm Nikki Arts. I'm a heritage building owner in High Street, Lower High Street, Duncan's buildings. Like Dame Anna, I'm very proud of the restoration we've done. I've included some images of the planting that we have had, showing inappropriate plantings and lack of maintenance. The current revamp proposes trees that are very similar to these, only taller and skinnier. They want to put Old English oaks, and it mirrors the images of the past. In my opinion, the plantings proposed, which are for looks only in the current street revamp, will only largely repeat the mistakes of the past. The trees get too high, they get too wide, they make a hell of a mess, and they're literally shading our buildings. In my opinion, the best outcome for the Duncans buildings would be no trees and low rain gardens only, i.e. a very low planting. Many of the other building owners share my concerns. We want the council to rescind the motion, 2016 I think, on replanting our section of High Street with effectively what was there before the quakes, and which is a failure. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Questions?
Okay. Questions? Right. Councillor McClelland on Zoom, please.
Unmute myself, that's always useful. Thanks, Nikki and Mark. I discussed this matter with the head of transport yesterday, and we're going to look to hold a meeting with yourself and some others to see if we can get a solution to the specific issues on High Street. So if that works well, hopefully that's a blueprint for how we could roll this out elsewhere. So thanks again.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Templeton.
Thank you. I'm just wondering if you're aware that the original decision to remove the trees was a specific request from the building owners, so it would allow easier access to actually do the restoration work.
Of course.
And it was under the condition that trees would be replanted.
Of course.
Yeah. And so people were in favour of that at the time.
I think they might have changed their minds since then, having seen how tall they've actually got and the problems that we had with them. So it's basically a change of mind.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, that's brilliant. Thank you very much, Mark and Nikki.
Thank you.
Put point forward.
How do we progress this? Can we get some?
We could just
Jake's already on it.
note the meeting.
Jake's already. Okay, thank you. Thanks, Jake. Okie dokie.